Hi, everybody. As you know, I'm Kate of Om Shamiyana. Some of you know that for a lot of years I've been dealing with some bone issues because I have DISH, DISH. Feel free to look it up. It's an interesting topic. Mine has been kind of hyper aggressive and went hand in hand with the Hashimoto that I have, which is a hypoactive thyroid. So, fast forward 2000 to today. In 2020, I ended up having 4 additional surgeries on one ankle. One to try and clear some additional bone spurs that had reformed. The other 3 ended up trying to clear spurs, but also chasing an osteomyelitis infection. If you don't know what that is, it's actually an infection of the bone. Extremely hard to treat. We thought we had. I had been on intravenous IVs for 4 months, extremely powerful stuff, and we thought we'd beat it. Kind of in the synonymous same time frame, I had some lumbar spine issues. Had a lumbar fusion begin that went sideways dramatically. Had an additional spinal surgery a year later, just over a year later, to try and correct that, which we thought was good. 4 months, 5 months after that surgery, one of my surgeons went in and did a surgical neural decompression on the nerve roots, removing scar tissue. We thought that maybe that had won. It put us a step forward because a lot of the issues I'd been fighting and dealing with softened. And over all this 2.5 years time frame, I've been on crutches, I've had a walker, I've had a cane. If you've seen me around Merida, you know that the cane is kind of a fixture with me because something was still wrong. An electromyography showed that it was no longer a problem in the spine. Okay. A friend of mine hooked me up with a surgeon that she had been blessed with. And I went and met with Dr. Jose Delgado here in Merida and had a new MRI. He's like, looked at my old 4-month, not old, but 4 months old x-rays, my previous MRI. I said, okay, this looks like we can go in, we can do a reconstruction, blah, blah, blah. All that good stuff to get me functional and walking again. In August, the start of August, we redid the MRI. Whoop, the gods are talking. And a new CT of the ankle, foot, the lower half of my leg, basically. He messaged me because we were on the way to Arizona for part of vacation, just wiggling things around. And he said, Kate, the infection's really bad. We need to talk when you get home. And I looked at my husband and I said, I have a suspicion that this is not just a talk about infection. I suspect that we're going to need to talk about amputation. And my husband kind of looked at me and said, okay, But part of my thought process always been that if I can approach the potential mentally, I can be prepared even if the potential never shows up. It's mental preparedness for worst case or the what if. It's something that I've done in the past before, and it's always stood me in good stead, because then it's less of a hit you in the gut, kick you in the teeth shot if that potential stands up. So when we got back from Arizona, I met with Dr. Delgado, and he's across the desk trying to explain that we can potentially, this is really delicate, this is really dangerous, this is a worst case scenario type situation that the MRI and CT showed, that we may not want to do or be able to do the reconstruction. You know, we can try if you want. It takes maybe 5 or 6 surgeries, and I just kind of said, hold it. If we cut to brass tacks, cut to the punchline, I said, are we looking at better off doing an amputation? I think I kind of stunned him. Because how many of your patients go from we need to talk to telling you, oh, are we going to need to amputate? Not many. But I had spent weeks mentally preparing for this as a potential. So he was able to look at me and say, for best results, to give you back your life, yes, I would recommend that. And I said, great, let's cut to the chase. Let's do it. I'm not willing to waste 4 or 5 or 6 surgeries to end up in an amputation anyway. I said, the poor foot's been through 12 already. He says, no, let me pretend that it's only 5. I said, okay, we'll pretend it's been 5. But the foot and ankle have been through a dozen surgeries before. In one of those is where the osteomyelitis came from. Whether pre, post, OR, you know, it's so hard for me to say. When I told my kids about it, the gods are talking, they're keeping time with the story. When I told my kids about it, they wanted to be angry at someone. Who do we? And I went, hold it, no. This is not to be angry at anyone. This is a worst case scenario of chicken and the egg, but you're eating a scrambled egg with chicken in it. It's multiple situations that led to this point. I'm just jumping to the end because after 12 years, I'm tired of being in pain. I want to regain my life. So the middle of September, I'm having what some consider a radical maneuver. I'm having my foot amputated. It'll be about 10 centimeters or 4 inches above the ankle. And really, really quickly, within a couple months, my mobility with a prosthesis will be dramatically more than my hobble effect on what right now I have as a foot. It's exciting to me to go from not wanting to leave the house because how far will I have to walk? Are there stairs? Let's turn around, go home. There's stairs, I don't want to do it. So I'm really excited at the potential of being able to go visit the archaeological sites of the Yucatan and other areas of Mexico that have been on my wait list until you're better. So look out, world. It's going to get interesting. I've got another video coming. Stay tuned.